Hello, my name's Celia Bray, and I am a psychologist who works with the somatic wisdom of the body to heal emotional issues. So think of a situation now where things aren't going the way you'd like them to. It can be a relationship that you're in at the moment. It could be a situation at work. It could be a situation with how the world is. Like things just aren't going the way you'd like them to. And notice how it feels when you think about that situation. Notice the sensations that come up. You might just feel heavy and that sense of powerlessness, or you might feel this knot of tension in your stomach or fear. Whatever it is, just notice that. And notice how much we love, and we don't know that we love it, but the mind kind of loves it. That's how the mind works. But notice how we want to blame the other person, or blame the way the world is, or blame politics. Oh, if only he had said something different, or she had said something different. If only whatever it is in the situation that you're in, if only blah, blah out there was different, then I would feel better. When you're blaming something outside of yourself for your own experience, you give your power away, and there's very little you can do about it. Or we try to control other people. Oh, could you please do this differently? Because when you do it like that, I don't feel good. And in some relationships, that's really important to negotiate those things. And there's also people whose behavior towards you is not okay, and you need to remove yourself from the situation if they don't stop. But our experience is actually what we need to look at. And when you let go of holding other people and other situations responsible for what you're feeling inside, it can be two things. One, incredibly liberating because you get to process what's happening for you, and you can do it whichever way works for you. You can reach out for help, you can go for a walk, you can meditate, you can lie under a tree, like you can journal, whatever it is that works for you. The other thing that can happen is that you can feel excruciating sensations in your body, very uncomfortable and very overwhelming. Because when we stop pointing the finger out there and start to notice our own experience and be with it, it can be really confronting because we've avoided it for so long by blaming. When we actually blame somebody else or blame another situation, we get to have a different experience of anger or whatever it is that's out that we feel like is out there. That's a different experience. But when we actually come back to our own experience, it can be really overwhelming. So I want to invite you to be compassionate with yourself and still come back to you and say, you know what, my experience is my responsibility, always, 100%. What I need to be dealing with. And a lot of it will often come from past wounds, past triggers that we have. You might be really sensitive to a certain type of interaction. You might be particularly attracted to the same sorts of relationships. There might be dynamics that are going on around you in terms of the family or whatever it is that comes from the past. And so they show you where your wounds are, and they show you where you can start doing that healing. So I just really want to invite you to check in with yourself when you notice yourself blaming, whenever you're pointing the finger out. Go, okay, what am I feeling internally? What is so uncomfortable for me right now to be with in my body? It doesn't mean that what's happening outside is okay from the framework that you have, but we can't do a lot about some of these things. So it only chews us up and keeps our emotions locked up. So we can't actually release, we can't process, and we can't experience the joy that we have when we can come back to ourselves and deal with our own process and deal with our own sensations. So I just want to invite you to try it on. Make sure that you support yourself if you start to feel overwhelmed, because you might do, stuff will come up and you'll go, wow, I've been sitting on that for all this time. Like, that's a lot. And then you might feel like, okay, I need to put the lid back on. So you can visit it slowly and a little bit, but at least start the journey, because it will liberate you. It will give you peace. It will mean you have your power back. You haven't given it to someone else who, from your perspective, unless they change X, Y, and Z behavior, you can't be happy. I mean, that's such a prison to be in when we think, well, X, Y, and Z needs to be different for me to be happy. But when you say, right now, I need to deal with these uncomfortable sensations and then figure out what's action I want to take that's going to be helpful for me, then you're not only dealing with the current situation, you're also processing past wounds that you may that may have a similar theme, past patterns. You are healing a whole raft of emotional issues when you can start to tune into your body and be with that experience. So you're setting yourself free on so many levels to start to be connected to you, to be the source of your own power and responsible for what your life looks like. So this can be challenging, and I'm not saying it's easy. So I just want to really emphasize this can be really confronting on a number of levels. People might say, no, but so-and-so shouldn't have done that. And what about abuse and all of the things? Yes, those people shouldn't do what they're doing. And your experience is yours to heal of what actually has happened as a result of that for you and your body, what you're still carrying around. They can't heal that for you. No one else can. Only we can do that for ourselves. So please be gentle with it, but I do invite you to start reclaiming your life, reclaiming your power and your healing, and letting you open up to the wisdom that your body has, that when you stop blaming others, that you can start to access. Thank you.